rumble.
Off you go then. Pass you a drink, love.
Pass you your drink.
I'm off to do some editing.
Your raspberries are sinking, I wonder why.
Story of my life, Johnny. Thank you.
See you later. Bye, TTFN.
I'm just checking the camera. Carry on.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to Big Oggie's kitchen, or rather Kelly's kitchen, because it is my kitchen and he might integrate it a few times, now and ever again, but he always makes a mess and then leaves me to tidy it. Maybe it's a man thing, I don't know. He tries. My patience usually. So today we are going to do something very simple. It's coming up for Valentine's Day, but it's also coming up to half term for the kids. So I thought I'd get ahead and do a school dinner-esque type thing. I remember having it when I was at school. But you can have it as either a slice of to have just as a snack, or you can have it as a pudding after dinner or whatever. So I'm going to make the old-fashioned cornflake tart. It's so simple and so quick. And I think, as I've said before on this channel, when it comes to like half terms and school holidays and things, I don't know about your kids. I mean, mine aren't kids anymore. They're like 18, but they're at college, so they do get their holidays. And the thing is if they're at home, they're munching. And I don't have a problem with the munching, but snacks that you buy from the shops, the cost of, goodies, if you like, nowadays are absolutely ridiculous. So I sort of made this vow that if they were going to snack on cakes and muffins and things like that, then I was going to make them because it was going to be a cheaper way of doing it. And touch wood, up till now it's really worked. So I'm going to make this cornflake tart today. And we're going to use, for quickness and just for the sake of it, a sheet of pre-rolled shortcrust pastry. Now this is on offer at the moment in Sainsbury's. Is 99p. Bargain. Obviously, the other thing that you're going to need, which most people probably might have as a breakfast cereal, is cornflakes. And they're not expensive either. In fact, there's some deals on at the moment on those as well. So, all we're going to do is, when you use shop-bought pastry, it's a good idea to take it out of the fridge and leave it to come to sort of, not absolute room temperature, but to let it warm up a little bit before you use it. Otherwise, if you just see what I just did, I've created cracks because I've unrolled it too quickly. So that's okay, we can just sort of pinch them back together and it won't be a problem. So I just need a little bit of flour, mainly for my rolling pin. I just need to roll this slightly because obviously it's a rectangular piece of pastry and I'm putting it into a round pie dish. Now, my top tip for this would be, do not put it into a pie dish that is too big. I did make this before and I used very similar to a quiche dish, the sort of size of a quiche dish, and it was too big. There wasn't enough coverage of cornflakes, in my opinion. So I am going down to a small pie dish. I would have loved to have done this on a pie plate, so very shallow, but I don't have a pie plate. So I'm using this one and I'm sure it'll be fine. So I'm just going to roll my pastry onto my pin to start with, like that. I've greased my pie dish and just put it over. Now, because my dish is quite deep, I'm going to need to lift it and let it sort of sink in carefully because I don't want it all to break up. But if you do get breaks, that's fine. You can just pinch a piece of pastry off of somewhere else and patch it, because let's face it, this is not going to be something for the beauty of it. It's going to be taste. We're all going for taste and texture here. So it's as literally as simple as that. So I'm going to cut away the excess. Now, if you've got younger ones, and you've got extra pastry, give them the extra pastry, make little jam tarts or whatever, don't waste it, but unfortunately mine are a bit big for messing with pastry nowadays. So there you have your lined dish. Now, the next thing you're going to do is take a piece of greaseproof paper that you've scrunched up. You can actually use the greaseproof that your pastry came in, but screw it up anyway because it gets into the nooks and crannies easier. Put that into your pie dish or tin or plate or whatever you're using, and then take some of these, which are baking beans, and fill her up. Now, baking beans are the best thing, honestly, because they're ceramic, so they conduct their own heat. They're heavy, so they weigh your pastry down perfectly. And once you've bought them, they last forever. I think I've had this original tin for probably 10 plus years now. I bought a new one just so that I had double the amount, because sometimes I do quite big bakes. And yeah, can't go wrong with them. Now this is going to go into an oven, and we're going to bake it like this at 160 degree fan, 180 if you don't have a fan, and John will check it, but I think it's probably around a gas mark 5 or 6. Don't quote me on that. John will check it and he'll put it in here, and he'll put all the ingredients at the bottom also. So this is going to go into a preheated oven. I'm on a fan oven, so 160 for 15 minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, so this pie case has now been in for 15 minutes, so I'm going to lift out the baking beans carefully because they're very hot. Put them somewhere to cool, and then I'm going to pop this one back in for another 10 minutes with no beans in, and then it will be ready. I'll be back in 10. Okay, so that's been in for a further 10 minutes. Let's get it out. And it is now nice and golden brown. So we're going to put that to one side and leave it to cool for a while. Now, while that's cooling, we're going to make our cornflake mixture. So, plug in my little hob. To do this, you basically melt together your butter, your soft brown sugar, a pinch of salt, and your golden syrup. Now, I've measured my golden syrup into a bowl, but golden syrup is sticky, as you jolly well know. So the easiest way to get it out of the bowl and into the saucepan is just to warm it slightly. So I'm going to bung it in the microwave in the bowl for about 20 seconds just to get it a bit more melty. There, now that's much runnier and should be able to pour out easily. With a spatula, I can get out all the bits. There, that's Kelly's top tip of the day. Now don't try and rush this, don't do it too quickly because you don't want anything to burn. But you need to melt it nicely all together so that you can't feel any of the grains of the sugar or the salt, obviously. If you break up your butter, it will go quicker. You don't need to bring this to any type of boil or simmer or anything. You literally just need to melt it all together. There. Now you can take it off of the heat, and then you add your cornflakes. So there's 100 grams of cornflakes going in here. And the most important thing is to make sure now that you stir this all around so that every single one of your cornflakes is coated in the syrupy, buttery, sugary, yummy stuff. There we go. So it looks like this when it's all coated. If you can see, it might be a bit dark. So I'm going to stick that to one side, move my hob out the way, and bring back my pie dish. Now, whilst this is still a little warm, I'm going to add my jam, purely because I think it spreads easier when the pastry is still slightly warm. But you do whatever you want to do. If you want to wait till it's cooled completely down, do. I'm using raspberry jam because that's what my family likes, but you can literally use any jam that you want. I guess potentially you could even use chocolate spread if you wanted. But I think strawberry jam is probably one of the most traditional. There is a measurement for jam in the recipe, which, as I said, John will put for you. But here is my word of caution. Don't put too much jam. Because if you put too much jam, you end up with layers, which maybe not such a bad thing. But the jam then overpowers the lovely cornflakey type thing. Now, also, because my pie dish is quite deep, I'm going to go slightly up the edges, but you don't have to do that either. So with regards to the jam, I would say add as much or as little as you're happy with. As I said, I'm using raspberry, but I am using a seedless raspberry as well. But again, whatever you've got handy will do. I know my daughter would love this if I did it with apricot jam, but then my son wouldn't eat it, and she will eat raspberries, so you have to get some sort of compromise going there. Okay, so there's my jam in. Get this out of the way. And lastly, we're going to add our cornflakes into the tin. And pile them in, like so. Spread them out. Sort of compact them a little bit. You don't have to like really crunch them down, but sort of compact them a little bit. Like so. And then this is going to go back in the oven, again, still the same heat, 160 fan, 180 if you've not got a fan, for just 15 minutes, just to sort of flash bake the top. Okay, so I'll put that in and I'll be back in 15. Oops, I made a mistake.
Disaster averted, love. Thank you for talking to me.
Yes. Actually, it's not 15 minutes that it needs to go back in for a flash thing. It's just 5.
I will put it in writing underneath what you say.
Absolutely. So
Big O saves the day.
doesn't really make a big deal of difference,
No,
but you
not
just
really.
have, it's just to sort of like glaze it a bit more on the top. So there we go. It's been in, mine's been in for 7 minutes, and you know, no disaster. And that, my friends, is a cornflake tart. As I said, you can slice it when it's cool to have with a cup of tea or something, or you can just chop it up like we did at school and have it with custard.
Oh, you've got to have it with custard, because I think it's more of a pudding than a tart. Yeah? But it's a school dinner's pudding.
It is a school dinner's pudding, but I think, see, the thing is I was never really keen on the custard at school, so I think that's what sort of puts me off a bit of having
We've
custard
had this
with
discussion
it.
before on the channel way before. I used to be a dinner monitor, so I
I
used to
did
get
too.
the skin.
Yeah,
yeah,
me
but
too.
dinner monitors used to always steal the skin. It was the best part of the school dinners. That looks really good. It's going to be very sweet, hence school dinner stuff.
Absolutely. So you won't need a big slice, but as I said before, the kids are home soon, and if you need a munchy sort of thing to give them,
That's
and
good to me.
with store cupboard ingredients, cornflake tart. So hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please come back. Please come back anyway, even if you didn't enjoy this one. There's bound to be something that you like. We do try and do a very varied lot of recipes and cocktails. Don't forget the cocktail corner. Yeah,
Finish mine.
there he is finishing his cocktail. So please subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you have, thank you very much. And come and join us again real soon on Big OGGIE's World. See you all again soon. Bye for now.